This course is presented to you free of charge by TTJ Tech Services of www.ttjtech.biz and by Stir It Up of www.stiritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U, not an I, so that's STURITUP.com. TTJ Tech Services and Stir It Up are pleased to offer this course to you, to the glory of God, and to the benefit of all those who listen.
Welcome to this session of More with the Mac. Today, this section is going to be about system preferences. I'm sorry, it's called system settings now. They changed that about 2 OSs ago. Maybe it was Monterey. I don't know. Don't quote me on it. But anyways, you can get to it a couple of different ways. You can go to the dock, hit the letter S until you hear system settings, or you can go to the Apple menu, VO down until you get to system settings that way, or like me, you can have a commander and just launch it. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna launch it.
System appearance window, sidebar, row 16 of 39.
Okay, you heard voiceover say voice 16 of whatever. That's your choices that you have in here. You can also go to the Apple menu, go over to view. Actually, let's see what it's called, because I don't think it's called view anymore.
Menu bar, Apple, system setting, file, edit, view.
Alright, it is called view. And if you go down, it'll have the system settings in alphabetical order.
View, back command, left bracket, forward command, right bracket, search command F, about, accessibility, airdrop and handoff checkmark, Apple ID, Apple Karen words, Bluetooth.
Alright, so you get the idea. It's all in alphabetical order. Now,
Sidebar.
my buddy John Pennery's over at Mac2024-Session4.com. Check him out if you get a chance, or if you have never heard any of his recordings or teachings, because he does a great job. He has done an extensive, detailed demonstration of these settings. I'm not going to touch on everything. I'm just going to touch on a few highlights. So if you want to hear his recordings or his courses, go to Mac4theblind.com, or you can search for his podcast, Mac for the Blind, and that's the word for F-O-R, not the number 4. Anyway, so let's go over to the table.
Search text field, appearance, toolbar, appearance, search sidebar, row 16 of 39.
Okay, it's a sidebar. And as you know by now, to interact with this, you're going to do voiceover, shift, and the down arrow.
In sidebar, row 16 of 39.
Now, right now it's at 16 of 39. I'm going to go all the way up to the top so we can start from the beginning.
Row 1. Clifton Miller Sr., Apple ID.
Alright, it says that's my Apple ID. We're not going to go in there. We know what's in there. You know, you can set up what you want to see on your Mac: photos, contact, calendar, reminders, keychain, all that good stuff.
Family.
That's where you would have family sharing. You know, decide what apps you want to share, if you want to share a payment method, whatever the case may be.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, that's, you know, self-explanatory. You connect to your Wi-Fi network, make sure multiple networks are set up for different areas, whatever the case may be.
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth, self-explanatory. I use a Bluetooth keyboard, Bluetooth headset, so that's where I would go to see that.
Network.
Network, this is where you can go in to see if you are connected to the internet, what internet protocol you're using, IP6, whatever the case may be. I use Wi-Fi as well as having an Ethernet cord plugged in, because I use network attached stores, better known as a NAS. That's a story for another day though.
VPN.
VPN, virtual private network, I do not use on my Mac.
Notifications.
Notifications. I guess we can explore this one, because this might be something that you might want to set up. So what you'll do, you don't have to VO spacebar or anything like that. You stop interacting.
Out of sidebar.
And then you go over to the grid.
Notifications.
You said it's here's notification, but I'll let you hear the help tag.
You are currently on a scroll area. To begin interacting with the contents of this scroll area, press Control, Option, Shift, down arrow.
Alright, you heard what he said, so we have to interact with her.
In notifications. 20. Notification Center shows your notifications in the top right corner of your screen. You can show and hide Notification Center by clicking the clock in the menu bar. Show previews. When unlocked, show previews. Allow notifications when the display is sleeping. Off. Allow notifications when the display is sleeping. Switch. Allow notifications when the screen is locked. On. Allow notifications when the screen is locked. Switch. Allow notifications when mirroring or sharing the display. Off. Allow notifications when mirroring or sharing the display. Switch. Application notifications. ExpressVPN. Off. FaceTime. Badges. Sounds. Banners.
Okay, so here's my notification, or my apps, I should say, that I can set notifications for.
ExpressVPN. Off. Application notifications. ExpressVPN. Off.
So ExpressVPN, you can see I have those off.
FaceTime. Badges. Sounds. Banners.
Badges, sounds, what did it say?
FaceTime. Badges. Sounds. Banners.
Badges, sounds, banners, which means it's going to give me a count of how many I've missed. It's going to give me a sound when it happens, and it's going to be a banner, which means it's going to go away right away.
Find My. Badges. Sounds. Time.
Same for Find My.
Game Center. Badges. Sounds. Banners. Time.
Now, this doesn't even bother me. It doesn't even get in the way, but I'm just going to go in here so you can see what you have to do here.
Out of notifications. Notificate. In. Notification. Notifications. Allow FaceTime. Find My. Game Center.
All right, Game Center. So, let's see what we have to do here.
You are currently on a button inside of a scroll area. To click this button, press Control Option Space. To stop interacting with the scroll area, press Control Option Shift up arrow.
All right, so he's telling me that it's a button, so I'm going to VO spacebar on it.
Game Center.
All right, now I'm in the Game Center preferences for the notifications.
Game Center.
Interact.
In Game Center.
Now, I don't want to hear anything from Game Center, even though I don't play any games, and I'm not signed up for any games, but I don't want to hear nothing, so.
On. Allow notifications. Switch.
So I'm going to VO spacebar and turn that off.
Off. Login items. Background. Game Center. None.
It says none because I have it turned off.
Banners.
Banners.
Alerts. Banners appear in the upper right corner and go away automatically. Alerts stay on screen until dismissed.
Okay, I want him to hear that, read that for you. So, alerts are not going to go away until you dismiss them. Banners flash in the screen. VoiceOver read it if it's quick, if it's slow enough. But if not, it's just going to be in the notification center if you allow it to be.
Allow time-sensitive alerts. Dimmed on. Allow time-sensitive.
Yeah, as you can see, it's dimmed because I turned this one off. So, let's go back with the command that we heard in the view menu, which is command left bracket.
Back. Notifications. Notification.
Have to interact again.
In notifications. Notification center.
And of course it takes you back to the top, so I have to scroll back VO right arrow or down arrow until I get to the one that I want.
Show previews. Allow FaceTime. Find Game Center. Off.
Alright, there's Game Center. Let's see what's next.
Home. Badges. Sound.
That's my home app. I'll leave all that alone. It doesn't really bother me on the Mac because I don't have much on my home now anyway, so.
Kerberos. Badges. Sounds.
I have no idea what that app is.
Loopback. Off.
Loopback is off because I don't need any notifications from that.
Mail. Badges. Banners.
This is an interesting one because I check my mail frequently, but I don't need the notifications to bother me or tell me when I have mail. So let's VO spacebar on this button.
On. Show in notification center. On. Show in notification.
Now it's on. I don't want that on.
Off. Login items.
Because I don't want to see mail in my notification center. I get a lot of email and I don't need to know when I get it. So.
Show in notification center. On. Show notifications on lock screen. Switch. Off. Login item.
And I also don't need them.
System.
And I also don't.
System set.
I also don't need to see them in my. I also don't need a notification for them.
Show off. Show in off. Show in badge application icon. On badge application.
Badge application. That just means
system settings.
That means this dictation thing's bothering me, so I'm gonna fix that. But anyways, that's basically gonna tell you when you go to your mail in your dock how many unread email you have in your inbox. It's not gonna tell you about any other mailboxes. I have custom mailboxes that you'll see once we go into the mail app, but it's only gonna tell you what your count is in your inbox. It's different on the phone because if you have a unified inbox, then it'll tell you for all the accounts. But that's how that works.
Show previews. Default. Show previews.
It's asking me if I want to see previews, which I do not. So we're going to VO spacebar.
Menu. Check mark. Default. Always. When unlocked. Never.
I'm going to put mine on never.
Never. Log it.
Now what's it saying by saying defaults is basically whatever the default for your notification center is, that's what it's going to be. So whatever you set it up at the top, that's what it's going to be. But you can change them on the fly.
Notification grouping. Automatic notification grouping.
Automatic, again, because that's the default at the top.
Help.
And that's it. So we're going to command back, or what is that, left bracket.
Mal. Badges. Banners. Loop back. Off.
This time it actually stayed on the last one I was on. So mail.
Messages. Badges. Sounds. Banners. Time sensitive. Critical.
Okay, so you heard all that. There's critical, time sensitive, alerts, banners, all that. We're going to go into this because I don't need to see messages in my notification center. I don't need to see a preview, but I do like to hear when the message is sent if I'm not in the app for it to be read. So let's go customize that.
Messages.
All right, messages. That's the all right arrow.
Messages. In map on. Allow notifications. Switch.
All right, allow notifications is on, which I do want it on, but guess what I don't want?
Messages. None.
What does that say?
Messages. On. Allow notifications. On. Allow notifications. Switch.
We want allow notifications on.
Messages. None.
Let me see something here.
Login items. Back banners. None.
Oh, okay. So we're at the part where we want to, if we want it to be an alert or a banner. So let's see what mine is on.
Banners. Alerts. Banners appear in the upper right corner.
All right, mine was set on none, and that's not what I want.
Alerts.
So let's put this on banner.
Banners. Login items. Back none. Banners. Alerts. Banners appear in the upper right corner and go away automatically. Allow critical alerts. On. Allow critical alerts. Switch.
Yeah, I have mine on critical alerts because I do want to hear that if I'm doing something else, such as a focus or something. You won't know that I'm in a focus, but the computer will.
Allow time sensitive alerts. On. Allow time sensitive alerts. Switch.
That's also on.
Show notifications on lock screen. On. Show notifications on lock screen. Switch.
This is not even necessary for me to change. I could turn it off, but I never lock my screen anyway. Besides the fact that 9 times out of 10 it's always off, so it doesn't even matter. So this is a toggle I don't even need to mess with.
Show in notification center. On. Show in notification center. Switch.
Now that's the one I do want to turn off because I don't want to see messages in my notification center because I check them often enough where it's not even necessary.
Off. Login. Badge application icon. On. Badge application icon. Switch.
That's technically not even necessary either because number one, I don't keep messages on my dock because I have a commander for it, and two, again, I'm always checking messages anyway. Messages and mail is probably the two apps that I spend the most time in.
Play sound for notification. On. Play sound.
Definitely want to play sound with for notification.
Show previews. Default. Show previews.
It's on default. Let's see what the choices are.
Menu. Check mark. Always. When unlocked. Never. Never.
I'm gonna put mine on always.
When always. Always. Login items. Background. Show previews. Always. Show previews. Notification grouping. Automatic. Note help. Help.
Okay, and then we're at the end. And the reason I put that on always is because that enables VoiceOver to read me the message when I'm not actually in the app or the app is open. So if somebody sends me a message, it will read me the message even if the app is not open or part of it, and I can just go listen to it or read the whole thing when I'm ready. All right. Command left bracket.
Messages. Badges.
Good. It stayed on messages, so let's see what the next app is.
Microsoft Update Assistant. Off.
I'm glad that one is off. This is Microsoft Update Assistant. I have the Microsoft Suite installed because for whatever reason, people who come from Windows think they need Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and all that good stuff based on except the fact that once they learn the Mac, they figure out, like I did, that you don't need those things because Pages is the equivalent of Word, does better. Keynote is a equivalent of PowerPoint, does better. Numbers is a equivalent of Excel, does better. You get my point. And I'm not just saying that because I'm an Apple user. I've used both, and I use both operating systems. I actually grew up on Windows, so that's not a stab at Microsoft. That's just letting you know that based on my experience and my opinion, not saying it's the right or wrong way, that the Apple group of apps does the exact same thing, if not better, than Microsoft does. So,
Notes off.
Now, Notes is off. Again, something I check very often, so I don't need notifications. Like if I'm collaborating with somebody, I don't need to know when they make updates or whatever. So when I'm on my Mac, that's not necessary. I do have that feature turned on my phone though.
OneDrive off.
OneDrive is also off. Another Microsoft product. They're actually their cloud storage. I keep it around for a couple of different reasons. One, because you need Microsoft to play the Xbox, which me and my family do. Two, I have 40 gigabytes of free storage that now you only get like 10 10, I think, from Microsoft, or maybe it's 7 or 5. And 3, I have that files that I back up there that I have in a couple different places because you never know.
P-Cloud Drive off.
P-Cloud. This is my second favorite cloud service behind iCloud. That's because I have lifetime storage of 2 terabytes and I have files stored there. This is actually where I store all my recordings of all the classes that I edit, stuff like that. But it's a great service. Doesn't take up space in your Mac and all that good stuff. But I don't need notifications for it.
Reminders, badges, sounds, alerts, time
Now,
sensitive.
We're going to go into reminders because Cliff doesn't use reminders. So let's deal spacebar on here.
Reminders.
Interact with the scroll area.
In on allow notifications switch.
And we're going to turn this off.
Off.
Because I don't use reminders at all on my Mac, actually, or on my phone. You know, I'll set an alarm. I use the calendar. To each their own. As we say at TTJ and Stir It Up, personal preference. There's no need for me to even continue because I turned this off. Everything else is going to be dimmed. So command left bracket.
Back notifications. Notification. Vertical split notification.
And of course, this time it took me back to the top of the list. So let's go back down to reminders.
No show pre apps Express VPN face get loop back off Microsoft Notes OneDrive P-Cloud Drop reminders off tips alerts.
Tips. There's alerts. I mean, I guess it gives you little snippets here and there about what's new in VoiceOver or the Mac period. So I leave that on. It doesn't bother me. It pops up maybe once a week, maybe once a month. Just depends on how often there's tips that they think that you want to know.
Wallet, badges, sounds, time sensitive.
Now, I don't use Wallet on my Mac, so there's no need for me to go in here to turn it off. But it's, you know, the usual.
Help.
And that's it.
Help.
Now, you did notice that there's probably a lot of stuff that's missing here. What I did is I set up my Mac as new maybe once every 2 years, and this is that time. So instead of doing it and just having my Mac ready, I'm doing it as to teach this class to show you how to do certain things. So that is, we need to go back. Yeah, that's notification. So let's go back.
Back VPN window.
All right, so
Zoom. Tool VPN search text field sidebar.
All right, we're back in the sidebar. Going to interact.
In network VPN notification sound.
All right, sound. That's where you would adjust your microphone. You would pick the headset or Bluetooth device you want to use, whatever the case may be.
Focus.
Focus, we all know what that is. You can turn on Do Not Disturb. You can make a custom focus. Your sleep timer is in here, and you can also make sure that it's checked across the board. So whenever you turn the focus on, it automatically does it on your Mac and your phone.
Screen time.
Screen time, if you have kids, you want to control what time they're on and off their devices, you can go in here and do that. I don't have mine set up. My wife takes care of that. General, this is an interesting one. We're going to go in here because there's some stuff in here that you wouldn't think would be in here. As you can notice, though, that these settings are in the same order as they are on iOS. So let's stop interacting.
Out vertical splitter general.
All right, general, this is a scroll area, so we're going to interact with it.
Software update.
Software update is in here. That's a new one because software update used to be in its own category. Storage, you can check what your storage is. What they call it, consolidate your storage so you don't download files until you need them, and so it doesn't take up space on your Mac from iCloud.
AirDrop and handoff.
AirDrop and handoff, we all know what that is.
Login items.
Now, login items. This is where you would go to set up what you want to start up when you turn your Mac on, whether it's Dropbox, OneDrive, whatever apps you may need to start up when you turn your Mac on.
Apple Care and Warranty.
Apple Care and Warranty, pretty self-explanatory.
Language and region.
Language and region.
Date and time.
Date and time. This is actually where you would go to set a custom voice for your clock on your Mac, stuff like that. Explore that. Check it out. You got to download voices. Yeah, I showed you how to do that in the last session.
Sharing.
This is where you would actually go to change the name of your Mac if you so chose, and to choose what files you want to share on your network.
Time machine.
This is something I used to use very often, but don't use it at all anymore. But this is where you would go to set up your time machine to back up your Mac on a schedule, or you can have it back up every time you make a change. I used to do that. I don't do it no more. I keep everything in iCloud or on external drives. So whenever I get a new Mac or I do this restore every 2 years, I just set everything up from scratch. And I never restore from a time machine backup anymore.
Transfer or reset.
You could transfer or reset here. This is the same thing you would do on the phone. You would wipe the Mac, turn off Find My, turn off sign out of iCloud, and do all that to be able to sell your Mac or trade it in at the Apple Store.
Startup disk.
Startup disk. You would go in here to select what disk you want to start up with. For instance, this is the second disk I have on here, or volume, for lack of a better term, because I am setting this up as new, but until I get it the way I want, I have the old one to keep around. So this is where I would go to select the other one to start up from when the computer starts.
Startup disk.
And that is the last one. So command left bracket.
Back screen time window. Zoom tool screen search text field sidebar.
Back into the sidebar.
In sidebar general appearance.
Appearance, light, dark mode, whatever the case may be.
Accessibility.
Accessibility. This is where you could go to set up spoken content, when you want voiceover to speak hints, other stuff like that. Go in there, explore. You can't mess nothing up. If you get to a point where you think it's wrong, you could just reset it to defaults.
Control center.
Control center. You can also get to this by hitting VO keys, shift and the letter O. This is where you show what items you want to be shown. Focus, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, whatever.
Siri and Spotlight.
Siri and Spotlight. I don't use Siri or Spotlight on my Mac. I don't use Spotlight at all, not even on my phone. Some people like it, not my preference.
Privacy and security.
Privacy and security. This is where you would go to give permission to apps to access certain files in your documents, your downloads folder, music, whatever the case may be. This is also where you would go to manage your extensions or to give permission to certain apps to access things.
Desktop and dock.
Desktop and dock. This is where I guess you would go to see the appearance, to see what you want to. Let's go in here, because I don't even know. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Out of sidebar.
I never go in here.
Desktop and dock. Desktop and dock. 42.9%. 0%. Position on screen bottom.
Yeah, this is just an appearance thing, so we're not even gonna fool with this.
Vertical split sidebar. In displays.
Display. That's where you go to manage your displays. If you have one connected, I do not.
Wallpaper.
Wallpaper. Same thing. Background, I guess. Visual thing.
Screensaver.
Screensaver, same thing, to save your screen. What pops up when your screensaver activates: pictures, slideshow of your family, whatever the case may be.
Energy saver.
Energy saver. This is where you would go to, I guess, tell with the computer when you wanted to sleep, when to charge, when you're on battery, stuff of that nature. I'm on a Mac Studio, so I don't have a battery or the need to save energy.
Energy saver. Lock screen.
Lock screen. Let's go explore this, because there's some stuff in here that I think people don't think that is actually here.
So lock screen. Lock screen.
So we're going to interact with the lock screen area.
It never. Start screen saver when inactive. Never.
I have mine on. I have mine on never.
Turn display off when inactive. Never.
I have all mine on never, because like I said, I don't have a screen.
Warning. Never letting in your require password after screensaver begins or display is turned off.
That's personal preference. Again, I don't have a screen, so can't nobody access my files anyway. And the Mac Studio never leaves my house.
Never. Require show large clock. On lock screen, show 24-hour time. Off. Show user name and photo. On show password hints. Off. Show message when locked. Show message when locked. Toggle button. Show message when locked. Set when switching user. Login window shows. Login window shows list of users. Selected radio button. 1 of 2.
So this is where you would choose what you wanted to show at your logon screen.
Login window shows name and password. Radio button. 2 of 2.
Those are your two choices.
Show the sleep, restart, and shutdown buttons. On show the sleep, restart, and shutdown buttons. Switch accessibility options.
This is why I came in here, because this is where you would actually set VoiceOver to turn on at startup. So let's interact here where it says accessibility.
No visible title to interact on. Accessibility options.
Alright, it's a button, so let's deal spacebar.
14 items. Off zoom. Off voiceover.
So we're going to go through these items and see what's in here.
Scroll area 14 items. Done. Done. Turning off mouse keys.
Alright, where is it at?
Scroll area for accessibility. Voiceover. In text. Off voiceover. Switch.
So we want to turn VoiceOver on.
On. Voiceover. Accessibility. Voiceover. On. Voiceover.
Zoom.
Off. Zoom. Switch.
I don't need that on. No, that's not the app. The Zoom. It's not the app Zoom. This is the Zoom that you would use on a screen for people that are low vision and want to make the text bigger.
Accessibility keyboard star. Off. Accessibility keyboard star. Switch.
Accessibility keyboard. I don't need that. That's sticky keys for people who have issues with motor skills and stuff like that, and I don't need that.
Sticky keys. Off. Sticky keys. Switch.
Yep, there that is.
Slow keys. Off. Slow keys. Mouse keys. Off. Mouse. Turning off a feature disables that. Done.
All right, done. So this is where you would come to turn on voiceover to begin at startup.
Accessibility.
So I just hit done,
Help.
and that's it.
Help.
So we're gonna command the left bracket.
Back. Energy saver. Window. Toolbar. Zoom. Toolbar. Energy saver. Search text field. Black sidebar. Vertical sidebar.
Back in the sidebar.
In lock screen. Login password. Users and groups. Login password.
Now, it says login password. I'm assuming this is where you could change the password. I've never actually went in here, but you know that's pretty much what it sounds like.
Users and groups.
Users and groups. This is where you would go to create a new user for your computer. If you have more than one person in the house that wants to use it and has their own file system.
Passwords. Password. Secure edit text.
Of course, it's going to ask me for my password. This is keychain basically, and it's asking me to enter my password, and I'm not going to because we're not doing that. We're not doing that. It's just here.
Passwords. Enter image SF vertical sidebar. Search text field sidebar. In internet accounts.
Internet accounts. This is where you would go to
Login items. Background.
to put mail on your other mail accounts on your computer on your Mac other than iCloud. And because iCloud, you're going to sign in automatically, it'll bring you to that screen, all that. But if Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, AOL, whatever the mail services, this is where you would go to bring those accounts to your Mac.
Game Center.
Game Center, we don't need to go in there.
Wallet and Apple Pay.
Wallet and Apple Pay, you already know.
Keyboard.
Keyboard, I'll come back to that in a second.
Mouse.
There's the mouse, self navigation stuff.
Printers and scanners.
Printers and scanners. This is where you would go to you set up printers, and my printer's not even on the network yet, so I can't even set mine up.
Printers and scanners.
All right, let's go back to keyboard.
Mouse. Wallet and Apple Pay. Games. Internet accounts. Passwords. Users and group passwords. Internet accounts. Game Center. Wallet and Apple Pay. Keyboard.
All right.
Out of vertical splitter. Keyboard.
There's a few different categories in here with keyboard because you know you can do different things.
Keyboard.
So we're going to interact here.
In keyboard. Press FN key 2. Do nothing. Press FN key 2.
Yeah, so you can set your function key to do a few things. Let's see what it says here.
Menu. Start dictation. Press show emoji and symbols. Change input source. Change input source.
All right, so you can change the import source.
Show emoji and symbols. Start dictation. Press F. Check mark. Do nothing. Check mark. Do nothing.
And I have mine on do nothing.
Do nothing. Keyboard navigation. On keyboard navigation.
Keyboard
Switch.
navigation, of course, you want that on.
Use keyboard navigation to move focus between controls. Press the tab key to move focus forward and shift tab to move focus backward. Keyboard shortcuts.
All right, you can set keyboard shortcuts. We'll go to that in a second.
Text input.
Text input.
Input sources.
Input sources.
US. Edit. Text replacements.
Text replacements.
Dictation.
And dictation.
Microphone. Image.
Microphone.
Use dictation wherever you can type text.
And
to start dictating, use the shortcut or select start dictation from the edit menu.
I'm glad I came in here because I need to disable this. I don't dictate on my Mac.
Off. Use dictation wherever
All
you can type
All
text.
right, it's already off.
Languages.
Languages.
English. United States.
Mine's on English.
Edit. Microphone source. Automatic. USB audio. Shortcut. Press control key twice. Shortcut.
Let's turn this shortcut off.
Menu. Off.
There we go.
Off.
Then that way, when I hit the control key twice, it's not coming up automatically because I don't use dictation.
Shortcut press keys now. Edit text. Auto punctuation.
Auto punctuation.
On auto punctuation.
On.
About Ask Siri. Dictation and privacy.
That's about dictation, Siri, and privacy. Like I said, I don't use Siri, dictation, or what's the third one that I don't use? And Spotlight on my phone or on my computer, so that doesn't even matter.
Change keyboard type. Set up keyboard. Help.
Okay, so this is where you would come to set up a different kind of keyboard. All right, so let's go back.
85.60. Press do nothing. Keyboard on. Keyboard navigate. Use keyboard. Keyboard shortcut. Text input. Keyboard shortcuts.
Let's go to keyboard shortcuts.
In dialog.
All right.
Sidebar.
So there's a
of 13.
There's a few different
vertical splitter. Sidebar.
There's a few different shortcuts in here you can do.
Launchpad in display shortcuts. Launchpad and dock shortcuts.
Launchpad and dock. Now this is where I go because I don't use iPad or not iPad, but mission control, and I turn off all these shortcuts. So let's go in here.
To change a shortcut, double click the key combination and then type the new keys. Table.
All right.
Turn dock hiding on off. Option Command D.
So it tells you what you can do here. So
Show launchpad. None. Show launchpad. None. Turn dock hiding on off. Option Command D.
okay, so that's all that's there.
Guide
So
to change the short.
let's go to the next one.
Vertical split sidebar. In display shortcuts.
Display shortcuts. Not even gonna go in there because I don't use a display.
Mission control shortcuts.
Mission control.
Out vertical to change the short table. Mission control. Control up arrow.
And I'll go in. I'll interact to see if this is even checked.
In mission control. Checked. Mission control. Checkbox.
It's checked, so I'm gonna uncheck it.
Unchecked.
Uninteract.
Mission show notification center. Mission control. Control up arrow. In mission unchecked. Mission control. Checkbox. Show notification center. None.
Now you can. You used to be able to set a shortcut for notification center, but now since you can do VO in the letter O, there's really no need to do that.
Turn do not disturb on off. None.
You can set a shortcut or a key combination for do not disturb. I'll do that later.
Application windows. Control down arrow. In application when checked. Application unchecked.
So I'm unchecking that because I don't want that shortcut to be bothered with it.
Show desktop. F11.
I don't need that one either.
Checked. Show desktop unchecked.
So I'm
Out of
unchecking it.
Show desktop. F11. Turn stage manager on off. None. In turn out of turn.
Okay, so stage manager, that's a visual thing. At least I don't use it, so I can't say it's a visual thing, but I don't use it. So there's no shortcut key set for that.
Mission control collapsed.
Mission control collapse. Let's expand this because this is what I like to turn off. Because you can hit the function keys and they'll take you someplace you don't even want to be.
Row 7 expanded. Move left to space. Control left arrow. In checked. Move unchecked.
Let's uncheck that.
Move right to space. Control right arrow. In checked. Move unchecked.
Uncheck it. Now you have to interact with each of these to uncheck them or check them.
Switch to desktop 1. Control 1.
So I'm interacting because I don't even have more than one desktop. So
In switch unchecked. Switch checked.
Oh.
Unchecked.
that one was already unchecked. So down arrow.
Quick note. FNQ.
FNQ. I actually like that shortcut because that would take me to notes automatically and I can do a note on the fly. So we're going to leave that one alone.
Quick note. FNQ.
All right, and that's the last one there. So let's go back over
to change the shortcut.
Go back over to the sidebar.
Vertical split sidebar. In keyboard shortcuts.
All right, keyboard shortcuts. Let's go over here.
To change the shortcut table. Change the way tab moves focus. Control F7.
All right, I don't particularly mess with this one. I don't even use my function keys for much, so I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Turn keyboard access on or off. Control F1. In turn keyboard unchecked.
I'll uncheck that.
Out of change the way tab move in. Change the way in table. Row 1 of 9. Checked. Change the way tab moves focus. Unchecked.
I'm gonna uncheck that because I don't want to change the way my tab key focuses. This is personal preferences. I'm just showing you how I set up my computer when I do a clean install. That's basically what we're doing. We're doing this together.
Turn keyboard move focus to the menu bar. Control F2.
Now, I'm actually going to leave that one the way it is because sometimes you're all the way over, but you heard what he said. Let's see.
Turn keyboard move focus to the menu bar. Control F2.
Control F2, you can go to the menu bar. And I guess you can do that with VOM too, but that's just another way of doing it.
Move focus to the dock. Control F3.
Control F3. I never use that, so let's turn that off.
In move focus unchecked.
Down arrow.
Move focus to active or next window. Control F4.
I'll turn that one off too.
Move unchecked. Move focus to the window toolbar. Control F5.
That's a good one. Control F5 to go to the toolbar. So we're going to leave that one checked.
Move focus to the floating window. Control F6.
Control F6, I don't need that.
Checked. Move unchecked. Move focus to next window. Command.
Now, he's not saying accent, but that's exactly what it is. The accent or the grave key, which is right above the tab key. I leave this checked because you want to be able to cycle between windows with command and that key, whether you're on Safari or in Finder.
Move focus to status menus. Control F8.
I never use that, so
move checked. Move unchecked.
We'll uncheck that.
Move focus to status.
And that's the last one there.
Move focus to status.
Back to the sidebar.
Move focus to move out to change vertical splitter sidebar. Row 413. In input sources shortcuts.
Input sources. We'll leave that alone. I don't even know what that is really.
Screenshot shortcuts.
Screenshot shortcuts I don't use very often, so I'm just going to skip that.
Presenter overlay.
Presenter overlay. That's actually the first time I've heard that, and it sounds like something I don't need anyway.
Services shortcuts.
Services shortcut.
Spotlight shortcuts.
Spotlight. I told you I don't use Spotlight, so there's no. Actually, I'm gonna go in here and turn it off.
Out vertical to change the table. Show Spotlight search. Command space. In checked unchecked.
I'm gonna command space turn it off because again I don't use Spotlight.
Show Finder search window. Option command space. Show Finder search window. Option command space. In checked. Show unchecked.
So I'm turning that off now.
Show Spotlight out to vertical sidebar. In services shortcuts. Spotlight accessibility shortcuts.
That's the voiceover shortcut, I'm assuming. Command F5 to turn it on and off. If you got a touch ID, I think you hold down the command key and triple click that 3 times. I'm not going to go there. Explore on your own time.
Application shortcuts.
Now, this is an interesting one. This is an application shortcut. This is actually where you can set up a shortcut to do something within the app or universally.
Function keys.
Function keys. Let's go over here because this is where you would set your function key to be standard.
Out vertical. Use F1, F2, etc. keys as standard function keys. Off. Use F1.
Mine is off because I'm using a third-party keyboard and mine works another way. But if you want to use your function keys as standard keyboards or function keys, you have to check that box.
When this option is selected, press the Fn key to use the special features printed on each key. Done.
All right. Let's go back over to the sidebar.
Sidebar. Row 12 of 13. In modifier keys.
And modifier keys, you pretty much know what those are. Your caps lock key or your voiceover keys. Now, I may come back here later on down the line and show you how to make a
function keys, application short access application.
Make it application shortcut because I actually have to set those up. I got a couple that I use in mail, ones that I use for moving a file and stuff like that. So that, my friends, is your system settings. Here with more with the Mac. In this section, we're going to teach you how to install a third-party app. Probably organize the dock and the app store on how to download Apple apps. So let's start with the third-party app. I need to install VLC and Amadeus Pro. I mean, it's a simple, straightforward process, but let's go to my download folder. Command Option L.
Downloads window. Left view 24 VLC 3.0.20-Intel 64.dmg disk image.
All right, there's VLC. I need to install this because this is what I use to play some of my media when I'm listening to it on the fly. So I'm going to VL spacebar.
VLC media player window. Icon view.
All right. It always shows up in icon view. I don't like icon view. I switch to list view by command 2.
List view.
Then I interact.
In applications alias.
That's the alias.
VLC application.
And that's the actual application. So I'm going to have to copy that.
Copy VLC.
Copy it to the applications folder.
Applications window. List view.
Interact.
In the music application.
Now I can paste it.
Paste item. Copy window. Stop progress.
It's going to give us the progress.
Applications window.
All right, now it's finished. So I'll close applications.
Close window. Close window. Downloads window.
Close downloads.
Close window. Desktop.
Now I'm going to go back to the applications folder.
Applications window.
Interact.
List view. In list Microsoft.
Hit D for VLC.
VLC application.
Now what it's going to do here is ask me if I want to install because it's from a third party. So let's VL spacebar.
Application. Alert. System dialog. VLC is an app downloaded from the internet. Are you sure you want to open it?
And of course I
Safari
do.
downloaded this file yesterday at 4:37 p.m.
So it tells you the date and time it was downloaded.
Open.
I'll hit open.
Finder. Application.
And what you didn't hear is when I first installed a third party app, it asked me if I wanted to install Rosetta. And Rosetta is the extension that allows apps that are still Intel based to be installed on an M1. So you may get that at first. It's one and done. You do nothing but say yes and you're good to go. But that's basically the process to install an app. Sometimes when you open it up, it's gonna ask you to be installed.
VLC is not responding.
What I do is copy it to the applications folder, then open it up because I know that's where it needs to be. So that's a pretty straightforward process. All right, next app I'm going to do, let's go ahead and install another app just to show you an example. Let's go downloads folder.
Downloads window in list view.
And I want to get to Amadeus Pro.
Crowd long clapping. Amadeus Pro application.
All right, there's an application, so I'm going to actually, this is already in my applications folder. But when I first downloaded it, it automatically was an application. It wasn't a DMG file. So let's go to the applications folder.
List view.
and I'm going to do
In
interact.
News application.
We're going to do AM for Amadeus Pro,
Amadeus Pro application.
and we're going to VO spacebar.
Application. Alert. System dialog. Amadeus Pro is an app downloaded from the internet. Are you sure you want to
Same message, so we'll go over to yes
open?
or open.
Finder. Applications window. Amadeus Pro application. Alert. System dialog. Amadeus Pro would like to access the microphone.
Of course, so
One
you
system dialog display.
so you give it permission to access the microphone because you may do some recording with this app. This is my editing app,
Allow.
and you hit allow.
Amadeus Pro is not respond. Amadeus Pro. Alert dialog. This copy of Amadeus is unregistered.
No, whatever.
Quit. Finder. Applications.
So now that's installed.
Close window. Desktop.
I mean, like I said, doing apps, third-party apps is pretty straightforward as long as you give permission. Make sure it's a trusted developer or source. You don't want to install something that's going to cause issues on your Mac. So, since we were doing third-party apps, let's go ahead and jump over to the App Store. VOM for the file menu, Finder.
Menu bar. Apple. About this Mac. System settings. Ellipsis. App Store.
There's the App Store. We're going to hit VO spacebar on that.
Desktop.
Or you can hit enter.
App Store window.
All right,
Discover. Clifton Miller Sr.
Alright, so I'm going to click on my name here.
Account.
It says account.
Account.
I'm going to interact here.
Hooked on spelling. Mac apps, iPhone, and iPad apps. Clifton. Purchased by.
Alright, it's saying purchased by, and it was telling you Mac.
Hooked on spelling. Mac apps, iPhone, and iPad apps. Clifton. Purchased by.
Because you can install some iOS apps onto your Mac. So let's go to the apps that are available. Alright, so we're in the Mac apps. So we navigate to the app we want to download.
Hooked on spelling. Hooked on math. WhatsApp Messenger. PDF reader. Able set audiobook binder. March 31st, 2021.
Alright, here's a Mac app that I don't use very often, so I'm just going to interact here.
In audiobook binder. March 31st, 2021.
And
5 items are.
And you do the actions menu, which is the VO command spacebar. I guess not.
Audiobook binder. March 31st. Re-download.
Alright, there's the re-download button. And I think
March 31st, 60 point. Product lockup view. Product lockup view. Outlier. March 13th, 2021. Feedly. Read more. Layer. March 13th.
Alright, here's my RSS feed reader that I use. So I'm going to VO command spacebar.
Actions menu. Re-download. Show menu. Re-download.
You can re-download.
Re-download layer. March 13th. Feedly. Fluent. Meeting 1 for Meeting 1 for Google Meet. February.
I paid for this app, so we're going to VO command spacebar on that.
Actions menu. Re-download. Re-download. Meeting 1 for Google Meet.
So
February.
as you can see, all you have to do is interact. So let's go back to the
Out
beginning.
of account. One net.
I'll close the App Store completely. So you'll go to the App Store with the file menu, go into the Apple menu.
Menu bar. Apple. About it. System setting. App Store.
App Store.
Desktop. App Store. Window. Discover. Row 1 of Clifton Miller Sr.
VO spacebar on my name.
Account.
It says account. I interact.
Hooked on spelling. February.
There's the list of apps, and I find the one that I want.
Hooked at Bible study. The Bible icon plus toolbox for photo plus image editor. Toolbox for page photo. Meeting 1 for toolbox for pages.
Toolbox for pages. So your VO command spacebar.
Actions menu. To re-download.
It says re-download.
Re-download toolbox.
So I hit enter. Hit enter or VO spacebar.
Meeting authenticator app. Oka on archiver. Capital One shop flying bee reader. Audiobook by layer. Feedly. Fluent reader. Meeting 1 for Google Meet. February 5th, 2021. Actions open. Meeting 1 for meter for Zoom.
See, now you're on it. It says that that you can open instead of re-download. Here's my meter app that I love because it integrates with my calendar. So I'm going to re-download this one, VO command spacebar.
Actions menu. Re-download meter desktop verse. December 13th. Files list export. December 11th.
I love this app. Puts everything in a list for you. VO spacebar. VO command spacebar.
Actions
and
menu. Re-download.
Re-download.
Files list export.
So as you can see, it's pretty easy to re-download apps that you've already purchased.
The Bible Memory app. T-Mobile Digits. November 7th. PDF Office. Acrobat Pro Expert. Action. Re-download PDF Office Pro. RSA Auth. PDF Office Actions. Re-download RSA Authenticator. Saker ID. August Music Harbor. Track Easy Music Converter. Actions. Re-download Personal Diary. Journal app. June 23rd, 2019. PDF Max Pro. April 4th. Actions menu. Redownload. Redownload. The document converter. March 13th. Action. Redownload.
Alright, so here's all my Apple apps.
The on iMovie.
If you buy a new Mac, it's just going to tell you to authenticate your Apple ID and connect them to it. I already have them, so I'm going to VO Command Spacebar.
Action. Redownload. Redownload iMovie.
Redownload iMovie.
Keynote. August 20th. Actions
Keynote.
menu. Redownload. Redownload.
And again, all I'm doing is VO Command Spacebar, down arrow, and it says redownload.
Pages. August actions menu. Redownload. Redownload numbers. August 20 actions. Redownload GarageBand. August actions. Redownload Kids Locks. July Kids Locks.
And that's how you download apps from the App Store. Now let's stop interacting here, because it does have little shortcut keys. You can also search with Command F. And let's see what else we have here. Let's go into the
menu bar. Apps. Edit. Store.
The store.
Store. Back command. Left reload page command R.
Reload store.
Back command. Left bracket.
You gotta see that universal command. A command left bracket to go back. Command right bracket to take you forward.
Search command F.
Search is command F.
See all command shift S. Discover command 1. Arcade command 2. Create command 3. Work command 4. Play command 5. Develop command 6. Categories command 7. Updates command 8. Account command 0. Sign out. Sign out.
That's all. There's all your options in the
menu bar.
Edit
window.
The edit menu.
Help. Win store.
Or
Edit.
I'm sorry, the store menu.
Edit. Apple. App Store. Edit.
So
Edit. No.
There you have it. The App Store. How to search, download apps, re-download apps, and even purchase apps. All right. Finally, we're gonna jump over here to the dock.
Finder.
And Finder is the first thing in my dock. You can go to dock with voiceover keys and the letter D, or use the caps lock D like I just did. That's actually the only thing I use caps lock for, because most keyboards don't have a control key on the right side of the keyboard, so you have to kind of reach across. So VOD, quick little shortcut with caps lock D will take you directly to the dock. So
Launchpad.
I cannot stand the Launchpad. Trainer Matt loves the Launchpad. Cliff does not. So you want a VO Shift M.
Menu.
And you get the menu. You go all the way to the bottom.
Show Launchpad.
You can show it.
Show Launchpad. Remove from dock.
Or remove from dock. I don't know if you can hear this sound, but
Finder. Desktop.
it does a little whoosh, and it's gone. It takes you back to the Finder, and I'll go back to the dock.
Dock. Finder. Some messages.
Messages. I have a commander for this, so I have no need for it. So VO Shift M.
Menu.
I'll show you what your choices are here.
Options.
Options.
Show recents.
Show recents.
Open. Show recent options.
And the options is you VO right arrow.
Options. Remove from
You
dock.
can remove it from the dock.
Open at login.
Open at login.
Show in Finder.
Show in Finder.
Show in Finder.
And that's your last option.
Open. Remove from dock.
Cliff wants to remove it from dock.
Finder.
All
Desktop.
right. So
Desktop.
we'll do one more.
Dock. Mail.
Mail. Another one I have a commander for, so I don't need it on my dock. VO Shift M.
Menu.
Go down to the very bottom.
Open.
Open.
Show recents.
Show recents.
Options.
Options.
Options. Remove from
Remove
dock.
from dock.
Finder.
All right.
Desktop.
So
Desktop. Dock.
the other thing I want to do here
Safari.
is you can organize your apps. So you hold down the Option key and hit whatever direction you want to go. Right now I'm on Safari, so we're going to go right.
Safari. Move to the right of maps. Safari. Move to the right of photos.
Or I can go back.
Safari. Move to the left of photos. Safari. Move to the left of maps.
And then, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Maps.
And maps is something I definitely don't want on my dock, so from VO Shift M here.
Menu. Options.
I hit O for options.
Options. Remove from dock.
Remove from dock.
Finder.
So
Desktop.
that's, organizing your dock. And that, my friends, is this session of More with the Mac 2024. Thanks for joining today's session. Didn't get your question answered? Want paid one-on-one training? Email us at support@ttjtech.biz or support@stiritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U. That's STURITUP.com. I'm Trainer Cliff. Thanks for joining us. God bless. See you next time.